Hey everyone, it's Dark Knight Admin, and today we're going to talk about how to get value from one record onto another one. Common question I get is how to get a value from a related record onto this record. Some examples of that phrasing of that question could be, how can I get a value from a field from the account on the contact? On a report, I want to see a value from the account on my opportunity report. So there's just some examples. The list keeps going and going and going. There's different variations of that same type of question. There are three ways to get this data onto the record. The first one is your CrossObject Formula. You can do it with automation, and you can also do it with your reports, with your report type using the lookup function. But you may be wondering, which one should you use and why should you use it? And the answers will depend a little bit, varying on what your outcome that you want is. The first one is a CrossObject Formula. This is where you create a field on the object. It requires a lookup to the object that you want to pull the value from. The value from the associated record, if the value changes, it changes the value too. It can be used in reports as well. So just one thing to think about with cross-object formulas is that you want to build that when you always want that value to be completely reflective of what that parent value is. So in this scenario, this could be like on the contact, I want to build a field that pulls in a value from the account. And actually, here's an example of a cross-object formula that does that. So we have our contact, that we're going to go through the count on the contact there. We're selecting the active pick list field. And when that's selected, it's going to go ahead and populate the field that we're going to create with whatever the status of the account is on the contact. So whatever the status is on the account, it's always going to update on the contact with whatever that value is. They're always going to be synced up. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. I produce Salesforce tips every week, so come back next week. The next way we can get values onto records from other records is we can use automation. Typically, you need to create a field to store the value that you want to populate, and then you're going to pull the value from the associated record with some type of automation, be it via Flow or Apex. Even approval processes can do some of these things. The nice thing about this is the values can stay the same unless the automation updates it. So if we do a one-time automation and it fires and updates the field, then it stays there. That's going to be the value it's going to be regardless of anything else. So the only time that field is going to change is if something else forces it to change. It's not going to automatically change when the other value changes unless that automation does that update for you. Nice thing with this is it can be used in reports. A lookup is not required, but is recommended. You, in theory, could build a flow that queries some other random object that's not even related to the record you do and populate with a value from that. So that is a total possibility. But a lot of times you want to pull some information that's related. They're related records. You just want to pull those values in that way. And then the last type here is with your report type. On your report type, you can select any of the lookup fields on the report type and select the add fields via related lookup. This is a really cool feature that a lot of people forget. Once you add that in there, you can select the opportunities. You can select, so we're under opportunities, we can select what field we want to. We can add the contract, and then from there we can add an additional ones from here. So we're on opportunities. We're actually went through opportunity over here. We're selecting the city, so we're going to pull in the city from the user record for the opportunity owner on the opportunities report. So this is a really cool way where we can add additional fields via lookups on our reports. One thing to note, this is only going to be available on your report type. You're not going to be able to go to that record and see this value on the record. It's only in the report. So it's a really cool feature where you don't have to build additional things, especially if that value is only need to be seen on the report. This is a great way to do that. If it needs to be seen on the record, you probably want to use either the automation or the cross-object formula to do that. All right, thanks for coming. I'll see you next time.